In 1867, Kansas State University held its first commencement. 3 women and 2 men graduated that year. As the first land-grant university in the nation, this fledgling university had a vision of providing innovative education to all people. That early vision has continued through to the present. With over 250 majors and a diverse student body, including students from all 50 states and more than 100 countries. Becoming one of the nation's top 50 public research universities by 2025 is today's vision for tomorrow. With academic programs among the best in the nation and professors who are leaders in their fields, Kansas State University is an international leader in teaching, learning, service, and research. Today's graduates join over 200,000 alumni who are proud to call K-State their alma mater. Congratulations, and thank you to all those who have supported them through their undergraduate experience at Kansas State University.
Well, welcome to sunny Manhattan, Kansas. We're pleased that you're joining us for the spring 2019 commencement exercises of the College of Business Administration. I'm Kevin Gwinner, Dean of the College. I'm pleased to introduce Miss Claire Todd, a freshman in business and applied music from Manhattan, Kansas, to sing our national anthem. Please remain standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Claire. That was amazing. Please be seated. Before we proceed with our program, I would like to introduce the members of the Platform Party. Please hold your applause until I introduce the entire Platform Party. Beginning with my far left, we have Dr. Brett Wilkinson, Head, Department of Accounting, Dr. Ansley Schwa, Head, Department of Finance, Dr. Eric Higgins, Associate Dean for Finance and Human Resources, Ms. Benta Janda, Assistant Dean for Student Success, Dr. Stacy Kovar, Associate Dean for Academic Administration, Mr. Charlie Morrison, today's commencement speaker, General Richard Myers, President, Kansas State University, Dr. Charles Tabor, Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Don Martin, Assistant Dean for Diversity, Ms. Amy Scott Sanjur, the College of Business Outstanding Senior, Mr. David Lehman, Instructor, Department of Marketing, Ms. Claire Wingert, College of Business Student Commencement Speaker, Dr. Bill Turnley, Head, Department of Management, Dr. Esther Swilley, Head, Department of Marketing, and Ms. Amy Button-Rentz, President and CEO of Kansas State University Alumni Association. Thank you all. Thank you. Please join me in also thanking our commencement marshals, Dr. Jan Crow, Dr. Hardy Johnson, Mr. Kevin Moody, and Ms. Caroline Scove for their generous service as commencement marshals. Graduates, today is a wonderful day of celebration for you and your families, and I'm privileged to have the opportunity to share this special occasion with you and grateful for the family members who are able to attend this special event in your lives. An event that marks the culmination of years of hard work and sacrifice in the pursuit of knowledge, a meaningful career, and a promising future. No one is happier or prouder of your educational accomplishments than the loved ones gathered here today. I want to take this moment to acknowledge the encouragement and support your families have provided for your success. Would the parents, spouses, and children of our graduates please stand so we can recognize you? I know that many of our families here today are celebrating a family tradition as a new generation joins the ranks of K-State alumni. Would all those present today who hold degrees from Kansas State University please stand for us to honor each family's Wildcat legacy? Although we are here today to honor the accomplishments of the graduates, we also acknowledge that the faculty and staff who have worked with our graduates in completing their studies, we're here to acknowledge the faculty and staff who have worked with our graduates in completing their studies. In honor of the faculty and professional staff who have served you with such dedication, I ask that you, our graduates, please stand and applaud their contributions to your success. Thank you. I'm pleased to recognize several faculty and staff members named as the recipients of prestigious awards this semester. Please stand when I call your name. Dr. Kate Wilkinson, Instructor of Finance, is the recipient of the Ralph Wrights Outstanding Teaching Award. Dr. Ji-Ho Yoon, Assistant Professor of Management, is the recipient of the College of Business Developing Scholar Award. Mr. Kevin Moody, Academic Advisor, is the recipient of the Kansas State Bank Outstanding Advising Award, and Ms. Danielle Fisher, Administrative Assistant in the Department of Accounting, is the recipient of the College of Business Support Staff Person of the Year. Congratulations to these award winners. We have two graduates who receive university-wide awards acknowledging their excellence in leadership, scholarship, and community service. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Adam Reed Carr is the recipient of the Commerce Bank and William T. Kemper Foundation Presidential Student Award for distinguished service in enhancing multiculturalism and recognized as an outstanding graduating senior by the Dean of Student Life. And Laura Sestoke is recognized as an outstanding graduating senior by the Dean of Student Life. Congratulations, Adam and Laura. One special group of graduates who have made significant contributions are those who have served as business ambassadors in the College of Business. Would all students who have been a business ambassador during their time with us please stand to be recognized? Thank you for your excellent service. We are honored to have Kansas State University President Richard Myers, Provost and Executive Vice President Charles Tabor, and President of the K-State Alumni Association, Amy Button Renz, join us today. Thank you for being here. Now, it is my distinct honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. Charlie Morrison, class of 1990. Charlie serves as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Dallas-based Wingstop Incorporated, the 25-year-old restaurant brand that pioneered chicken wings as a center-of-the-plate item. Charlie joined Wingstop in 2012 and led Wingstop's expansion from less than 500 restaurants to more than 1,200 restaurants across the U.S. and in 9 countries, generating more than $1.4 billion in annual revenue. He led Wingstop through their initial public offering in 2015, which was one of the restaurant industry's most successful IPOs ever. Charlie is an industry veteran with more than 25 years at top restaurant and retail companies, including Pizza Hut, Steak and Ale, Kinko's, Boston Market, and Rave Restaurant Group. The food service industry has recognized Morrison's accomplishments with the 2015 Golden Chain Award and the 2016 Silver Plate Award from the International Food Service Manufacturers Association. Charlie earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Management from the College of Business here at Kansas State and he and his wife of 29 years, Debbie, serve on the Board of Trustees of the Kansas State University Foundation. In 2017, Charlie was named the College of Business Finance Executive of the Year and is in the Finance Hall of Fame for the College of Business. Please join me in welcoming Charlie Morrison as our Spring 2019 commencement speaker.
Well, first and foremost, thank you, Dean Gwinner, and thank you as well to President Myers, Provost Tabor, faculty and staff of the College of Business for asking me to be here today. Graduates, families, and friends, I'm truly honored to be here today to address the class of 2019. What a momentous day this is. It's hard to believe it was almost 30 years ago that I was sitting in a seat where you are right now, reflecting on what was ahead for me in life. Today, I'd like to share some perspective on what it might look like as you make the transition from college to adulting and provide some words of wisdom that might help you along on this journey. As I stand here today, I can tell you with certainty that K-State graduates are truly special people. They have grit. I've hired a lot of people over the years in the various companies that I have served. The people that have worked well for our companies have the grit that I can say with confidence defines a graduate from this fine institution and exemplifies the coworkers I've had the pleasure of managing that came from K-State. To me, grit stands for the gratitude we share to have the opportunity to attend this great place, the resolve to passionately pursue our dreams while navigating the challenges in front of us, the instinct that lives in each of us as K-Staters to make good decisions, and the toughness to power through the reality life has in store for us and yet end up winners. My story about life after college actually started right here in Manhattan. This is truly a special place. It is family that centers us at K-State, and it is family that has certainly defined KSU for me. I met my wife Debbie here. We were married our senior year, and our first child was actually born here in Manhattan, Kansas. Both sat in this room with me when I graduated nearly 30 years ago. I'm happy to say my family is here today with me, and today Manhattan remains a special place for our family. Debbie and I have made our permanent home in North Texas over the years since we left, primarily because that is where work always took us. Over the years, we've raised 4 children, and I'm very proud to say that within the next year or two, all of our children will have achieved a bachelor's and/or master's degree from K-State. Thank you. Yet none of them were pressured to go here. As out-of-staters living in Texas, it was certainly not as convenient to consider K-State, but to them, this was more than a choice of where to go to school. It represented home for them as well, and home, as we know, is where family is. I mentioned we started a family before we graduated. That is a lot for a young couple to take on at a time when we might have been out celebrating the conclusion of our primary education and preparing for our careers. The challenge ahead of us required us to find good jobs to ensure that we could care for our emerging family and set them up for success. That's when the family of K-State stepped in. It was a professor in the College of Business, John Pearson, who pulled me aside and presented me with a challenge that became an opportunity I'll never forget. I'm not sure why he picked me. Perhaps it was our mutual passion for golf. Perhaps he knew that being young and raising a family was tough. Certainly there was some divine intervention. Whatever the trigger, he decided to challenge me. He told me that to get a leg up on everyone else as I started my career in business, I should learn the programming language COBOL. His wife, Beth, later offered to provide me with formal tutoring off campus at their home as a way to learn COBOL that would set the course for my career. In those days, data was hard to assemble quickly. PCs were just emerging, and the mainframes were the place where data resided. Learning that language got my foot in the door at Pizza Hut's corporate offices in early 1991. I worked my butt off, maximizing the value of that gift, continued to learn and perfect my programming skills, and ultimately leveraged SAS, a similar language, to get data out of large mainframes and provide that back as information that management could use to support strategic decision making. Along the way, I leveraged more good advice and did not just send the reports off, but studied them in detail so that I clearly understood what they meant for business. I asked all kinds of so-called dumb questions that helped me learn more about the business. That learning propelled me to a career in finance and strategic planning for some of the greatest restaurant and retail companies in the world, and charted the course for where I am today. I am a real example that the folks here in the front rows and the leaders behind me on this stage truly possess a genuine interest in your success. Let's take a moment to thank our leadership, faculty, and staff for their commitment to us all. I managed to get that first job leveraging my grit and let it fuel my journey forward. Along the way, I was grateful for the honor of working with some of the finest leaders in the world. I grew up in the PepsiCo system, an opportunity that I appreciate to this day. It was a corporation that only hired the blue bloods of business and me. You see, I did not graduate with honors by any stretch. In fact, it took me a while to get my act together in college. Therefore, I had to leverage my instincts, maintain my resolve to achieve my dreams, and be tough as the fight was not easy. I was in the circus, and as I tell a lot of young people today, I had to follow the elephants and carry the shovel behind them. That toughness and resolve led me to pursue other great companies to sharpen my experience along the way. During the journey, I learned many valuable lessons, and I'd like to close with a couple of those today. First, an astute boss early on consistently pushed me to focus on learning more than title or money as a way to build my career. His wisdom suggested that title and money come only from learning, and he was right. That will be frustrating for many of you from time to time, but it certainly paid off for me. For you see, over the past 4 or 5 years, you have been paying to learn. Now, you're going to get paid to learn. It never stops, and if you want to get ahead and earn more, you must continue to be patient and learn. Second, you and only you are responsible for your career. So many times I see young people get frustrated waiting on the company to deliver the development that guides their career for them. That rarely happens. Instead, it's up to you to manage your career, and that is not easy. It does not mean jumping around for greener grass at every opportunity as it is presented. Conversely, it means making thoughtful choices of where you work and why, and also making sure that you set expectations for yourself as well as with those that are teaching you as to where you want to go and what it'll take to get there. It's up to you to make sure that you manage the journey. Seldom will anyone do it for you. Finally, I highly recommend that you get an MBA. Yes, as I noted before, the learning never stops, and an MBA can be a great asset for you now and well into the future. As you've heard, I centered my career in the restaurant business. It's tough and sometimes a dirty job. The hours are long and the competition is stiff. You have to be accountable to every detail to win. But I learned from a wise man very long ago that getting your MBA ensures lasting success as a restaurateur. However, Dean Gwinner, I'm sorry to say that I'm not speaking about a master's in business administration, although that does present a great opportunity for anyone that would, and we'd certainly welcome all of you to stick around and get one. No, this MBA is perhaps even more important. It's called a mop bucket attitude. To succeed in my business, or any other one for that matter, you must be willing to do every part of the job. Successful restaurateurs know that you can't succeed working from 9 to 5. You have to know every detail of the business and be satisfied getting your hands dirty. You see, a restaurant may close at 11 p.m., but the work is not done. You have to prepare for the next day, clean the place from top to bottom, back to front. And those that win are the ones that grab the mop at 2 a.m., begin the journey from the back to the front, and when finished, take a step back, evaluate their efforts, and find satisfaction in a great day's work, excited for tomorrow. I asked a few people that are roughly my age what they remember the most from their commencement speaker in college. The consistent answer I heard was, nothing. My challenge to all of you is to take a close look at today and store a mental picture, and that does not just mean a selfie, and refer back to it from time to time. This may be the end of your undergraduate work, but it's just the beginning of something so much better. Use the grit that has been instilled in you to power you through the next phase in your life. And do me a favor, go get that MBA, that mop bucket attitude. I promise it'll set you up for success in whatever you do. And with that success you will attain, pull up that mental image down the road and reflect on how much K-State has meant to you, and come back here from time to time to see this wonderful place from a different perspective as I have. And, as I'm doing today, give back to those who have done so much for you. Thank you, and go Cats!
Charlie, thank you for your inspirational remarks and for your eloquent challenge to our graduates. Would you come forward to accept a small token of our appreciation? We are grateful to have Amy Button-Renz, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association, in attendance. She will say a few words on behalf of the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Dean Gwinner. I'm pleased to be part of your special day and offer congratulations on behalf of the K-State Alumni Association, representing over 280,000 graduates and friends who will be your lifelong K-State family. Today, as you receive your degree, we are excited to celebrate with you and your family. We are also here to welcome you into a new relationship with your alma mater as you begin this new chapter as a K-State graduate. Our mission at the Alumni Association is to lead and inspire lifelong involvement that will benefit Kansas State University and all members of our Wildcat community. I would like to share 3 of the core values that guide us in our mission to help you stay connected with K-State. The first value is link. The Alumni Association provides the lifelong link that alumni depend on to remain connected. You can stay in touch through hundreds of alumni activities held on campus, around the country, and internationally. Another value is tradition. You will likely celebrate a few traditions this weekend as you sing the alma mater or take KSU photos at your favorite spot on campus. You may also have fond memories of doing the Wabash at a K-State sporting event or rubbing the nose of the bronze Wildcat statue at the Alumni Center for good luck on a test or to ensure a Wildcat victory. As the keepers of tradition, we also hope you will have a chance to visit the Alumni Center to experience all of the wonderful traditions kept there, including our newest addition, a stained glass mural designed by 2016 graduate Marcus Gilbert, which pays tribute to the beauty of our state and the K-State campus. The third core value is purple. For K-Staters, it's more than a color. It's a symbol of pride, connection, and family. When you see someone wearing purple or a K-State class ring or sporting a K-State license plate, you will feel that sense of family. In recognition of your graduation, the College of Business Administration and the Alumni Association are providing you with a complimentary 1-year membership to the Alumni Association. We hope you will enjoy the membership benefits and continue to be an active member after your first year. K-State alumni are among the most loyal in the nation. In fact, our membership ranks in the top 5 in the nation and #1 in the Big 12 for the percentage of graduates who are members. That loyalty is shared by generations of K-Staters who have the same passion for K-State that you feel today as you receive your degree from one of the finest universities in the nation. The Alumni Association is also pleased to present you today with an exclusive alumni business card holder. As you go through life, your titles and addresses will change, but please be sure to keep us updated. We want to make sure you are always connected to your K-State family. Congratulations, 2019 graduates, and go Cats!
Thank you, Amy. Next, it is my honor to present the Outstanding Graduating Senior in Business Award. This award is peer-selected based on service to the college as an undergraduate, involvement in the life of the college, engagement in the K-State community, and personal academic success. This semester, Ms. Amy Scott Sanger is the recipient of the Outstanding Senior in Business Award. Amy, will you please join me at the podium? Amy is the daughter of Gadira Scott Sanger. She's from Junction City and a graduate of Junction City High School. Amy's an accounting major and plans to do her second internship this summer at Phillips 66 in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. She will return to K-State in the fall of 2019 to begin her graduate studies in our Masters of Accountancy program. As an undergraduate, Amy has served the college in a number of ways, demonstrating her ability to make an impact on her peers and the organizations in which she serves while maintaining academic excellence. Her many leadership roles at K-State include serving as president of the Dean's Student Advisory Council, secretary of the Student Accounting Society, and director of banquets and recognitions for the Blue Key Honorary Society. Amy had the opportunity to gain a global perspective on business while studying abroad in Spain and Italy. Amy also has been dedicated to improving the K-State culture as a member of the Student Alumni Board and working with potential student recruits as a business ambassador. She has served as a peer mentor in Blue Key and to Ellis Scholar freshmen. Further, she has worked to enhance diversity and inclusion as a member of the Multicultural Business Student Association and the Black Student Union. Amy has led a number of leadership workshops throughout campus for various university events. As a student, Amy has excelled. She received a number of honors and awards, including being a Phillips 66 Shield Scholar, a Project Impact Scholar, a Koch Discovery Scholar, and in earning the K-State Business Professional Advantage Certificate. And she did all this while working 2 jobs to support herself in college. Please join me in congratulating Amy on receiving the Spring 2019 College of Business Outstanding Graduating Senior Award. Each semester, the college faculty and staff vote to choose one student to speak at commencement as a representative of the graduates. This semester's speaker is Miss Claire Wingert. Claire is the daughter of George and Diane Wingert of Ottawa, Kansas, and a graduate of Ottawa High School. Claire is majoring in marketing and minoring in agricultural economics. She has earned certificates in professional strategic selling and pre-law. After graduation, Claire will work as a sales associate with Frito-Lay in Lawrence, Kansas. As an undergraduate, Claire has engaged with the college as a member of the Marketing Student Advisory Council and the Blue Key Honorary, where she has been the director of U Leads. She served as Chief Marketing Officer to Kappa Alpha Theta Sorority and as the Vice President and Director of Scholarship and Judicial Affairs for the Panhellenic Council. She has completed internships at Edward Jones and Frito-Lay. As well, she was a finalist in the Miss K-State Scholarship Pageant. Claire, it's my honor to introduce you as the Spring 2019 Student Commencement Speaker.
Thank you, class of 2019, professors and faculty and staff, for giving me the opportunity to be the commencement speaker. When I began writing this speech, I not only found it hard to get started, but I also found it hard to find an appropriate message that reflected our collective collegiate experience and wasn't too boring. I found myself writing a speech that primarily focused on the positives of our college experience. But as it primarily focused on the positives, I didn't think it was entirely accurate. So much like life, I decided to try a different path, and I decided to focus on the realities of our college experience. And since I'm the only thing standing between you, graduation, and cake, I'll make it short and sweet. Maya Angelou once said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." This quote illustrated what you thought your college experience was going to be like. Coming to K-State, you were a caterpillar. You were young, full of potential, and you were immersed into a new culture and environment which became your cocoon. Through hard work and determination, you have emerged from your cocoon, a beautiful butterfly, and you are now ready to fly on to your next adventure. Although this quote is beautiful, it doesn't actually represent most college experiences. To illustrate the other part of college, I will be using some quotes from the hit NBC sitcom, The Office. For those of you who are familiar with The Office, the series depicts the everyday lives of office employees in the Scranton, Pennsylvania branch of the fictitious Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. The manager, Michael Scott, regularly makes cringeworthy, hilarious managerial mistakes and frequently has memorable quotes. He said, "I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do." Sounds a lot like college or Finance 450, am I right? This Michael Scott quote most accurately illustrates what college was like for me. Since this was a more realistic representation, I thought I had to include it. We knew what we needed to do: study hard, be involved, and then get a job. But in a much more real sense, we had no idea how to accomplish any of those things. Without failing to get that internship that we thought we wanted, or being turned down from clubs or leadership positions, we wouldn't have found our place on campus. The club, activity, or class that eventually help lead to our future successes. It's easy to get caught up in getting focused on the outcomes of our decisions, when instead we need to be focused on the hard work that went into accomplishing those outcomes. When we came to college, we thought our college experience would be similar to the Maya Angelou quote. We thought that we would emerge from our cocoon and just be ready to fly on to our next adventure. But remember, a caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly overnight. The cocoon may seem tranquil and still to the casual observer, but on the inside is where the hard work is being accomplished. Remember the hard work, the setbacks and failures that led to our success. Remember that it's okay to have no idea what to do. And remember to thank the people, the faculty, the professors, and family and friends who helped lead to our success. As I conclude, I want to leave you with one more quote from The Office. Andy Bernard, the goofy, lovable Dunder Mifflin employee, once said, "I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you've left them." This is me telling you that these are the good old days. Remember your time in college fondly, and be willing to help the next generation of K-State students to develop and emerge from their cocoons through internships, scholarships, and job opportunities. As we fly off to our next adventure, remember where you came from, look forward to where you're going, and don't stop until you arrived. Until we meet again, thank you and go Cats. Thank you.
Will you stay here a moment?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Claire. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation for your speaking today.
We're supposed to take a picture.
Yep. I don't see you.
Okay.
That's right. We are now ready to present the degree candidates for the College of Business Administration. Will the candidates for bachelor degrees from the College of Business Administration please rise and remain standing? President Myers, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Business at Kansas State University, I am pleased to present to you the College of Business Administration Class of Spring 2019.
Thank you, Dean Gwinner. By the authority of the people of the state of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and completion of degree requirements, I am pleased to confer upon you the graduating class of 2019, the degree you have earned at Kansas State University. You may now move the tassel to the left side of your mortarboard. Congratulations.
Please be seated until directed by the marshals.
Would the marshals please direct students to the front of the auditorium, and would students please cross the stage when your name is called? Candidates for a Bachelor of Business Administration in Accounting: Jonathan Allen, Shelby Lim Armbrister, Haley R. Arroyo, Sydney Austin Beat, Jacob Daniel Beckley, Allison K. Bush, Trenton Evan Bush, Sage Madison Chaffin, Marlo Ann Craghat, Brett Thomas Dare, Maria Patricia Diaz, Andrew James Dotteridge, John Dale Dorkson, summa cum laude, Andrew Joseph Eilert, Piper Jane Fowler, Elliot Joseph Gassman, magna cum laude, Taylor James Heron, Camry Lynn Hawley, Jody Ann Jensen, Lindsay Nicole Kaniper, cum laude, Pearson James McAtee, magna cum laude, Brooklyn Taylor McElderry, cum laude, Lauren Victoria Minold, Zachary Tate Montgomery, Erin Nicole Miller, summa cum laude, Philip Tyler Mitchell, Tyler Scott Moore, Khalil Newton, Joshua David Patterson, Mary Catherine Perry, Sydney Christine Pretch, Devin Lynn Price, Jenna Michelle Ratzliff, Nicholas Michael Redden, Amy Raquel Scott Zanjura, Sydney Klazina Stanton, cum laude. Courtney Rose Strunk. Tabitha Stumma. Lucas Michael Tabaris. Nicholas Alvin Taphorn. Benjamin Lee Tenbrink, summa cum laude. Hannah Weisner, cum laude. Candidates for a Bachelor of Business Administration in Entrepreneurship: Cody Matthew Dillon. Lindsay M. Dunack. James Brett Fisher. Nicholas Brian Martin. Cale Wayne Reynolds. Madison Longanon Snow. Aubrey Shea Cito. Venus Tashina Tyler Ford. Max Oliver Westhoff. Candidates for a Bachelor of Business Administration in Finance: Maria Gabriela Acosta Centurion. Almanique Nikki Glorian Alumas. Abdurrahman Salman Altamimi. Victoria Adriana Andazola. Kyle Allen Ball. Chase Alexander Batis. Caden David Bescher. Ana Belen Blanco Motorfano. Zachary Quinn Boxler. Clay Michael Burke. Alexander Ramon Caro. Joshua Michael Cottle. Grant David Setola. Jared Bryant Chase. Brady Thomas Clark. Jack William Kofer, magna cum laude. John Brendan Crawford. Chase James Donovan. Jared Stephen Dorr. Blake Carl Drucker, magna cum laude. Eric Thomas Dudgeon. Nicholas Charles Emma. Benjamin Michael Fernandez, magna cum laude. Cole Hunter Flowers. Jeremy Nicholas Paul Gandon. Andrew Charles Haynes. Maxwell Lynn Hamilton. Jacob Cale Harshberger. Garrett Thomas Hazlett. Joseph Lauren Hickerson. Matthew Grant Keener, magna cum laude. Sterling Ridge Knight. Logan James Lee. Casey Austin Lederer. Landon William Lee. Riley Landon Lesseberg, magna cum laude. Courtney Jane Lund. Blake Edward Lynch. Roland Michael Massimino. Mark James McDermott, cum laude. Michael William McKinley, summa cum laude. Alec Jonathan Myers. Jacob Hogan Michaels. Cody Nickel Munchai. Brock Edward Monty. Dixon James Okio Ochanda. Darian Taylor Parr. Drake Larkin Patton. Fiorella Renetta Pavetti Villanova. Grant Lewis Pruitt. Timothy Robert Randall. Logan Cale Redding. Nicholas John Reese. Logan Matthew Riley. Gina Rose Resley. Joseph Allen Ryder. Shania Taylor Riley. Spencer Austin Roberts, summa cum laude. Kyle Christopher Rogers, summa cum laude. Meredith Beverly Sanders. Laura Vanessa Sastoque, cum laude. Sarah Mary Schmid. John Allen Shepley. Ogden Donald Shimkus, summa cum laude. Jose Angel Silva. Andrew Stephen Stewart. Connor Robert Eskel Swanson, cum laude. Rachel Marie Tankersley. Morgan Jalen Tauscher, magna cum laude. Parker Samuel Thompson. Joseph Christopher Vieru, cum laude. Mark Joseph Waite. William Wolf Wenninger. Melanie Mary Wurzberger, magna cum laude. Samantha Ann White, cum laude. Hannah Mae Whitten. Tanner W. Ray. Peng Ji. Candidates for a degree in general business: Tristan Matthew Carson. Brittany Jean Gallegos. Catherine Clysha Glynn. Deborah Howard. Amanda Renee Martinez. Kristen Keoani Tenkayo.
Candidates for management: Connor Joseph Alexander. Faras Mohammed Altamra. Mohammed Fahad Al-Zahrani. Devin M. Anktel. Ricardo Arinvis. Tomas Enrique Barati Repka. Jaden Seiler Barthol. Jordan Thomas Bartz, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Renee Basca. Maria Letisa Blanco Monteforo, Fano. Alexander Shane Boswell. Ashton Rhett Boyd. Matthew David Brown. Macy Jolene Bruton. Zachary Michael Berger. Julie Marie Byrne, cum laude. Adam Reed Carr. Ashley Morgan Kaufman, summa cum laude. Michaela Louise Crow. Alexis Lee Curtis. Tegan Renee Dahl, summa cum laude. Brock Alexander DeVolder. Emmanuel Derge. Lauren Ann Duell. Lucas Allen Doctor. Hannah Elizabeth Eck, magna cum laude. Maxwell Alexander Estel. Kyle Allen Fetty. Taylor Nicole Flemons. Kyle Jeffrey Foley. Connor Thomas Geddert. Rogelio Moses Gomez. Romina Gonzalez Matosek. Shane Joseph Gotch. Jofia Jamish, cum laude. Callie Grace Haas. Paige Nicole Haflinger. Chandler Everett Hoffman. Justin Garrett Horner. Jacob Henry Cultiflighter. Derek Michael Killian. Lillian Kathleen King Hagen, cum laude. Grace Elizabeth Kinman. James Thomas Kinney. Bethlehem Lacko. Emily Rose Lavery, summa cum laude. Timothy Owen Lillis. Carly Rose Lindsay. Keenan William Moss. John Richard Mackey. Sebastian Muffe. Riley Renee McDowell. Nicholas James Meitler. Thomas Anthony Michaels. Robert Matthew Mitchells. Joan Christopher Mills. Lucas Samuel Milner. Noah Jeffrey Modine. Nathan Patrick Monsees. Carrie Christine Mulder. Patrick Joseph Muldoon. Allison Lee Mullaney. Nicole Renee Neufeld. Mateo Ezekiel Nunes. Jake Riley Olson. Kathleen Elizabeth Phillips. Jackson R. Plessel. Jonathan Westfall Pratt, cum laude. Christopher Reber. Lawson James Roberts, magna cum laude. Bailey K. Rockers. Parker Martin Shipley Rowland. Corinne Marie Rolfs, summa cum laude. Monica Noel Ronabaum. Kristen Elizabeth Russell, cum laude. Brandon Blaze Sandoval. Taylor Danelle Schamberger. Caitlin Rose Schmeideman. Jennifer Eleanor Schwartzman. Abby Schweikert. Caleb Timothy Setawanan, cum laude. Rachel Ann Shelton. Magnus Nordvold Strömness. Lauren Mackenzie Sullivan. Lauren's diploma is being presented to her by her aunt, Dr. Lisa Wilkin, Associate Professor, Biological and Agricultural Engineering. Kesia Marie Thalman, cum laude. Skylar John Thompson. Alicia Thorne. Alec Calvin Tillman. Trin Tron. Lucas Allen Tucker. Shama Udoku. Kelly Jell Veach, summa cum laude. Mitchell Logan Vespestead. Benjamin Franklin Wahlberg, magna cum laude. Seth Thomas Walter, cum laude. Cole Greg Wilson. Daniel James Wilson. Grace Anna Wood. Patrick Ryan Zink. James Solimro Liam, magna cum laude. Larry Glenn Zieber. Sarah Louise Zuspin. At this time, we will take a moment to honor a student, Blake Sullivan, who is not here to celebrate with us today. Blake would have been an MIS graduate. Blake passed away in the fall semester. His friends and MIS peers, Christopher Cunningham, Grant Doyle, Mitchell Hogan, Zachary Logbach, and Mitchell McKenovick will accept Blade's award on behalf of the Sullivan family. Candidates for Management Information Systems: Milka Adriana Aguirre. Zachary Bergquist. Dakota Wayne Boyd. Andrew Paul Copeland. Matthew Y. Cornell. Aaron Thomas Cruz. Madison Alexandra Degnan. Andrew Cole Eberly. Brady Scott Fowler. Calvin Ellis Gordon. Nathan Ray Jones. Brian Martin Casson. Garrett Tyler Kuhn. Charles Dennis Mayfield. Eric Antonio Medrano. Cody Ellis Postlethwaite. Tyler Jamel Redmond. Daniel Allen Rook. Olivia Rose Sabala. Donovan Douglas Sheridan. Katie Jo Simonson. Steinen Sigurjonsdottir, magna cum laude. Kendall James Walden. Nicholas James Webb. Nicholas Emo Williams. Christopher James Cunningham. Mitchell James Hogan. Grant Joseph Doyle. Zachary James Logback. Mitchell Joseph Mahanovic. Candidates for marketing: Ali Ghazi Al-Muslami, Paul Michael Engels, Kyle Patrick Arness, William Paul Baker, Ryan C. Benward, Lucas James Barda, Matthew Blake Beavers, Alexandra Blair Beasley, magna cum laude, Megan Claire Bello, Marin Ann Berblinger, Nicole Marie Biggins, cum laude, Anne Michelle Baritz, Marin Blakely, Mitchell Jean Bolton, Brian Ladd Bozer, Madison Nicole Brady, Hunter Ellsworth Brovins, Nathan Scott Broadbent, Emily Joan Burdick, Kyle Robert Byers, Shanika Lissay Cave, Sarah Lauren Cady, Alexis Jade Kammerlink, John F. Campbell, Garrett Lane Cannon, Chastity G. Castro, Tanner Jacob Chad, Dalton James Chamberlain, Lu Meng Chow, Hung Zhe Chen, Jesse Chen, Tyler Wayne Connard, Zoe Jude Condi, Matthew B. Cox, Kelsey N. Cummings, cum laude, Ashley Nicole Curran, Joshua Stephen Dale, Maximilian Kloster Danner, cum laude, Lucas Dickinson, True Hai Do, cum laude, Jessica Erin Dozier, Jaden Clay Delaney, Jonathan Nelson Durham, Ellen N. Eggers, Michael T. Eichhorn, Grace K. Eiler, Catherine Jane Eversman, Aidan Gerard Garrett, Derek Stephen Gall, Kirsten Lee Graham, Delaney Grace Griffin, Brett Wayne Gross, Julia Christine Hall, Keegan Nicole Hansen. Taylor Austin Hansen. Graham Franklin Harton. Dylan Jackson Heydrich. Ashlyn Nicole Hellis, magna cum laude. Timothy Jarrett Henderson. Marika Tamiko Heiga. Alec Jacob Hildreth. Hannah Catherine Holland. Garrett Dean Holmes. Melissa Kate Hostmeyer, cum laude. Shinza Hu. Mihailo Illich. Luke Allen Jackson. Maxwell Thomas Kepka. Christopher Brian Kilkenny. Corey Hartford Neal.
Sean Michaud.
Sean Leo Michaud. Dylan Matthew Gates. Stephen T. Kirkwood. Francis Ann Knockendoffel. Kate Avery Kavarik, cum laude. Callie Rose Kowalski. Taylor Renee Kramer. Maxwell Joseph Kuhn. Ashley Catherine Lamb. Garrett Edward Lockey. William Warren Lehman. Ethan Lewis Loader. Kongda Ma. Andrew Dean Marsh, magna cum laude. Sarah Frances Mayerly, summa cum laude. Brian Christopher McCafee. Cole David McEntee. Kyle Robert McGuire. Caleb Joseph McGuire Wygand. Kyle Scott McLean. Jacob Connor Meyer. Emily A. Muckelbauer. Derek Matthew Olson. Vanessa May Peterson, magna cum laude. Lauren Christine Porman. Ashley Dawn Price. Molly Catherine Prophet. Paige Morgan Prentinsky. Jake Thomas Putnam. Sean William Reardon. Taylor Ashton Reynolds. Savannah R. Roberts. Trevor Arthur Robinson. Valeria Rubio. Dion James Saunders. Nicholas Scott Schmidt. Trevor Philip Scholl, cum laude. Jasmine C. Ryan Christopher Stein. Isaac Clark Stevens. Skylar Chase Stevenson. Lindsay Renee Stockham. Garrett Todd Suter. Jordan Lee Tannehill. Zoa Vang. Eric Christopher Viscainio, magna cum laude. Emily Jean Williams. Claire Elizabeth Wingert. Hannah Winterhalter. Brianna Catherine Wokey, magna cum laude. Killian Garrett Wood. Matthew John Zeich. Joshua T. Zillner. John Christopher Zimmerman. Candidates for Professional Strategic Selling. Drew Adam Chance. Denzel Christopher Goolsby. Matthew John Harkness.
Graduates, it has been the privilege of the college's administration, faculty, and staff to work with you over the past few years. Congratulations to all of you. Please join me in recognizing the outstanding accomplishments of these graduates one last time. Would you please rise for the singing of our alma mater? Got it? Sorry.
Yep, it's fine.
I know a spot that I love full well. 'Tis not in forest nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me in magic spell. I think of thee, alma mater. KSU all to thee our children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
We would ask the audience to remain in your place until the platform party and the graduates have exited the Coliseum. Graduates, please follow the marshals to the rear of the Coliseum, up the stairs, and into the concourse area. You are welcome to meet in the concourse area for pictures and conversation. This concludes our ceremony. Congratulations and enjoy your afternoon.